everyone. This is Lucas Ross Sports, Lucas Ross, your commentator. We continue our 2022 college football predictions. The USC Trojans are up next. I'll give you my thoughts on this team, give you my official prediction for this team, and go through their schedule, and I will go from there. But before we do that, let's look back at 2021 for this USC team. Looking back at 2021 for USC, they went 4-8 overall. The offense and defensive rankings last year for this team was 65th on offense, 103rd on defense last year. So numbers need to be improved on the defensive side of the ball. 103rd in the defense is not going to get you a win there. But I think USC should be better on the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot of question marks, but we'll see what happens there. Points per game, 28.7 points given on the offensive side of the ball. Points per game there, 28.7. So, I mean, that's really good number there, but that should be a lot better this season. Opponents per game, 31.8 points given up on the defensive side of the ball. That defense has a lot of question marks on that side of the ball this year. But looking at this USC team, my thoughts on this team, I think they're going to be better this year than they were last year. They're going to be really explosive on that offensive side of the ball. Caleb Williams coming over at quarterback. And the thing about this USC team, they brought in a lot of transfers, which is good news. Lincoln Riley now coming over. I mean, it's going to take time, though, for USC to be that big team in the Pac-12. But as we know, USC is probably heading to the, Big Ten Conference in a few years. So we don't really know the status of that yet. But let's get to the schedule now here for 2022 for USC. Out of the non-conference, they play Rice to begin the season. So, I mean, that should be an easy win there. They have no business in losing this game right here on September the 3rd against Rice. So I'm going to go ahead and put a win there for them. And they start out 1-0 on the season. And they play Stanford on the road on September 10th. This is going to be a tough place to play. And also Stanford has a lot of production coming back this season. My thoughts on this game right here, it will be close. I mean, I think I can expect it going either way. I just think Stanford is the better team in this one. And also, I think it is a 50-50 game, but I think it's going to be Stanford that does take the win here, and I think they do give USC their first loss of the season. So early in the year, it's just going to take time for USC to get that, better on the offensive side of the ball. I think Stanford's defense will be a big step in this game. I think second half they do pull away, so I mean, I think, Stanford is pretty much the better team in this one. And then USC takes care of business against Fresno State. I know I already have it as a win, but they have no business in losing this game either. I know Fresno State was a great group of 5 team, but I think USC will win and take care of business. It should be maybe just a 20-point-something win there, though. So, I mean, they do take care of business. Next game is on the road at Oregon State. This game is really interesting. Oregon State has a lot of production coming back this season. It's one of those upset alert type games. If Oregon State was not ranked in the top 25, I don't think USC is probably going to be ranked, in the beginning of the season. You never know, though. I think with Lincoln Riley, though, coming over, I think they're going to be ranked, but it just depends. I mean, of the season they had last year. But this game right here is a close one. I'm saying in the first half it will be close. I mean, Oregon State, maybe it's a fourth quarter type game. I'll change mine there. I think it'll be a fourth quarter type game there. But I think USC, I think they're going to come in here, and I think they do win on the road at Oregon State. So, I mean, I think I like USC in this game better, and I think Oregon State will be close, but I mean, I don't think it will be enough. I think USC does go on the road and defeat Oregon State here. Next game is at home against Arizona State. Not a really big game here, but Arizona State, I think, will compete in the first half. I think it's not one of those trap games, though, for them. I think it will be, a solid win here for USC here at home. I think they should win this one by maybe double digits or somewhere in that range. So they're now in the month of October, and their record is now 4-1. They play Washington State here on October the 8th, and that's not a big game there. Washington State lost a ton of production this year. They are just young this season. Washington State is a team that I'm not really high on this season. Some teams are not really hyping them up either. So, I mean, I think USC should win this one pretty easily, and I think they do win that one against Washington State. Next game is on the road at Utah. This is a big game here. I don't know if it's going to decide the Pac-12, though. I think Stanford and Utah are pretty much the top teams out of the Pac-12 this season. But you never know. I mean, it could be one of those games, but Utah probably is undefeated by this time in this one. I think it's going to be a close game, maybe in the first half, but second half, I think Utah does pull away, and with the home field advantage with them ahead of them as well, I'm going to pick Utah to win this one over USC. They give USC their second loss of the season, so that's a big loss there, but Utah has got a lot of talent on that side of the ball. They return a lot of production this season as well. I am really high on Utah as well, so I'm really expecting them to be good this season. But USC does get a bye week after that. After all the bumps and bruises, they do play Arizona on the road. I'm expecting this one to be a first half type game. Second half, though, I think USC will pull away in this one, and I think the bye week will help them out. And I think they do get a win here on the road at Arizona. So they do get a win there, and that should help them out. They got an easy stretch here for a little while, and now they head to the month of November with overall record at 6-2. They face Cal here on November the 5th. That should be an easy win there. Cal is a team that I'm not really high on. They lost a ton of production this season. I think USC, though, cruises in this game. Then they should win this one by maybe 17 or maybe 20-something points in that one. I could see them scoring maybe 40 points in this game, and I think they do defeat Cal here on November the 5th. Next game is against Colorado. That's another thing there. It's the same thing with the Cal game. I think Colorado, the production they have coming back is not good. I think Colorado's going to be a down team this year. This game, though, is on a Friday night. I mean, we've seen times in the past where top 25 teams, lose after that week and because they don't have a ton of time to practice, but I think USC should cruise ahead in this one, and I think they do defeat Colorado here on November the 11th. Next game is on the road at UCLA. Big rivalry game here. I'm really high on this UCLA team like I was last week, but going 8-4 overall. I think UCLA, though, should be a really good team this season. They have the easiest schedule in all college football this season as well. I think USC, though, they're really much better in this game, but with it being on the road, I think it's a 50-50 game in my personal thing here. I think it's going to be a 50-50 game. I'm going to say, I think with last week's video, I said that last week, I think UCLA is going to pull off a win. I think USC, though, it will be a close game, but I see UCLA clearly being the favorite in this one. I think with it being at home, though, and also being a 50-50 game, I'm seeing UCLA upset USC this season. I know it kind of sounds crazy, but I think it will be a loss there. I mean, it's a road game. Also, it's a tough place to play out of the, Pac-12. So, I think USC, though, will lose that one. And then they end things out with Notre Dame at home on November 26th. This is an interesting game here as well. Notre Dame, they have recruited so well. The question, though, is their offense. I think their offense will be better by this time. The defense doesn't really have a lot of question marks. Their defense should be solid. But I like USC in this game. I think, it's close to a 50-50 game, but I think it will be a 50-50 game by this time. But I think Notre Dame, is going to, be competitive in this game, but it won't be enough. I think with USC being at home, they do things out with a win over Notre Dame. It will be a close game, though. It's going to be a one-possession type game probably, but it's a big rivalry game, and I think with them at home, I think they do get the win. So the overall prediction I have for USC this year is 9-3. A lot of people have been predicting 9-3 this year for this USC team, so I think they do go 9-3 this year. They could possibly go 10-2, though, but they could possibly go 8-4 if they lose to Oregon State on the road. But that is a potential loss there. But they could potentially beat UCLA. I could see this team maybe going 10-2. But that is my prediction there for USC, 9-3 for 2022. Stay tuned here for more on Lucas Ross Sports.